We all know that the Atlanta Falcons went into a rebuild in 2020. They began by cleaning house, firing Dan Quinn, firing Thomas Dimitrov, and other short term executives as well that was a part of that branch. In doing so, before all the firings happened, they brought in AJ Terrell. They drafted him 15th overall in the 2020 NFL draft. This was the start of the Falcons' new era and rebuild. And as a diehard Atlanta Falcons fan, it hurts me to say, but the Atlanta Falcons have done it again, and yes, we're back and we're here. AJ Terrell, the homegrown Atlanta Falcon, yes, he went to Westlake High School right up the street from me. He just signed that $80 million deal. I even think that's a little bit too low for, obviously, in my opinion, who I think is a top 10 corner in the game. That's just my opinion. But some people say he's top 15. Hey, he's top something, right? In my opinion, I think he's top 10 in the game. Okay. I just don't see at least 15 other quarterbacks, other than, of course, the higher echelon of NFL defensive backs that are better than AJ Terrell. But this is my opinion. AJ Terrell is that dude. He is the guy that basically built this new era because he was the start. He is the defensive building block with Grady Jarrett. Yes, Grady Jarrett is the veteran, but who is really the building block on the defense? It's really AJ Terrell, especially in the secondary, right? AJ Terrell, what he has done over his past 4 seasons with the Atlanta Falcons, people did not expect him to do that. When you expect CJ Henderson to be better than AJ Terrell, and yes, folks were saying that back in 2020, like, oh, the Falcons were going to trade up for CJ Henderson. Boy, did he turn out terrible. Great, right? Good job, Jacksonville. You drafted another defensive bust. Thought he was going to be the Jalen Ramsey replacement. You thought that right, huh? Tyson Campbell's really the Jalen Ramsey replacement. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's better, of course, Hall of Famer. But Tyson Campbell's actually been better. But that's beside the point. AJ Terrell, right? Top 10 cornerback in the game. This cat can ball, okay? Good amount of interceptions on his career. Last year, he stepped it up and played tremendous defense. Talk about a guy that does not get burned on different plays like a Emmanuel Forbes or such. I do like Emmanuel Forbes. He is actually a good cornerback. I have him in my top 25. He'll get better. But AJ Terrell, okay? He doesn't get burned on plays like he used to in his rookie year. I mean, he's a rookie. What do you expect, right? You expect him to get burnt because those are learning lessons, right? In the event that we were even gonna re-sign AJ Terrell, you were gonna have to give him, I thought, a hefty amount of money, which is great that he actually took a pay cut because this really actually helps us with restructuring contracts. Yes, Jake Matthews has restructured his contract a few times. Caleb McGarry has restructured his contract a few times. Even Chris Lindstrom gave away some money so that way we can free up money and have a little bit of cap space to come in and sign Justin Simmons and trade for Matthew Judon and all of these guys, right? The Atlanta Falcons know what they're doing. And yes, they are Super Bowl contenders to a certain extent. I will say that. I've seen the comments. I know. I know people say like, no, I get it, right? They are to a certain extent, okay? I'm not going to say that they're all the way there because they're not, right? They're not in the higher echelon right now of Super Bowl contenders. They're not with the Chiefs. They're not with, I don't know why people keep saying the 49ers are Super Bowl contenders because they choke every time they get there, but I guess I'll put them in there. They're not in there with the Bengals, the Ravens, the Dolphins, those teams, right? The Eagles. They're not there, right? But what I will say is that the Atlanta Falcons know what they're doing. And AJ Terrell is the building block on the defense, and you had to re-sign him no matter what. $80 million is on the cheap side. $20 million, you still save cap space. You still have a little bit more money left over as well, with people being free agents next year as well, with the free agent class being terrific next year. Excuse me, terrific. And just to see how elegant you could get in the trade market, get in the free agent market next year. Oh, it's going to be hefty. Now, Matthew Judon is going to be due for an extension next year, but I like his attitude as soon as he comes in. No, I want to work for it. I want to work for my contract, right? I don't just want to be given a contract extension and hold out, all this stuff. Why did Jamar Chase want $260 million? Can somebody answer that for me? When you have Drake London, who I think is worth $100 million, but that is like $150 million less because Drake London knows his value. Plus, he wants to understand the team more, the team value as well. And you're looking at pay cuts. Everybody can't be the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I know I'm cross facing sports, but everybody can't be the Tampa Bay Rays. Everybody can't be the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are the two teams that know how to build a team off of cap space. You sign your players not based off value, but based off of the team structure and still save money. Everybody can't be the Atlanta Braves because the Atlanta Braves have signed their core players to long term, lengthy, team friendly extensions, right? This is what the Falcons are trying to do. They're trying to take this approach as well. Yes, I know $105 million for Christian Lindstrom looks absurd, but he is one of the better tackles. In my opinion, the best tackle in the game, right behind Quentin Nelson and others, right? You talk about what this means for Atlanta. That means that he's here as the long-term DB1. We thought Jeff Okuda was going to be the DB2. That worked out terrible. So, what does this mean? This means that the Atlanta Falcons are going to have AJ Terrell back, and we're going to have more secondary help now for Jesse Bates with Justin Simmons coming in. You know, Hamlin's like he's out indefinitely, so we don't know what exactly is going on with that situation. But the Falcons have a secondary now. We didn't have a secondary 3 years ago. We were playing Jalen Evans, who I thought was going to be the future safety. I mean, it's just some things don't work out, right? Some things don't work out. But for the simple fact that we actually tore it down and went through this rebuild to get where we are now, yes, we like I'm gonna keep harping on it. We are Super Bowl contenders to a certain extent. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at the NFC, you see how weak it is. The only teams that are going to be competitive for a Super Bowl ring is the 49ers, the Eagles. Don't say the Cowboys. Those are the only top two teams in that tier one. That's tier one. Tier two, Green Bay, Detroit. Um, you can even throw a team in there like a surprise team, such as the Commanders, but I don't think the Commanders are going to make the playoffs this year. But they can be a surprise team like the Texans were last year with CJ Stroud. I could see Jaden Daniels having that jump, right? But what does this mean for Atlanta? This means that it makes it an easier path for us to not only get to the NFC title game, but AJ Terrell's gonna step up this year regardless, because if you look at how he's getting paid handsomely. Handsomely. Oh, handsomely underpaid, in my opinion, but he's going to be that guy. He's going to be DB1. He's going to lock down the best wide receiver. We've seen it before. We already know what he does, right? AJ Terrell doesn't really have those good hands, but at the same time, we know what he can do, shut down corner stuff. Yes, AJ Terrell is what we thought CJ Henderson and Jeff Okudah were going to be. Basically, if you want to put it in a nutshell, he is the best DB from that draft class. I'm pretty sure there are others from that draft class as well that you can look at and be like, you know what? He's up there. But 2020 was dominated by wide receivers, but we're not here to talk about the 2020 draft. We're talking about the Atlanta Falcons and AJ Terrell's contract extension, which I think was heavily, heavily undervalued to a certain extent. But just based off of the fact that he is, in my opinion, I'm gonna say it, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, he's top 15 in the game at his position, if not top 10. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I honestly think that he is top 10 in his position, top 15 at the very, 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 very least. So Super Bowl contenders, no, but this is a start to where the Falcons want to be and get back to that land and get back to avenging 28-3, getting back to wanting to be better than 28-3, wanting to be better than the Patriots right now, because we are. wanting to win a championship for the city of Atlanta and all the legends that have come through this team that have tried to successfully win a Super Bowl and couldn't do it. This is for the legends. This is for Michael Vick. This is for Deion Sanders. This is for Steve Barkowski. This is for Jarius Norwood. This is for Warwick Dunn. This is for Michael Turner. This is for John Abraham. This is for Jamal Anderson. This is for Keith Brookings. This is for all the legends that you can think of. Roddy White, Michael Jenkins, Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, Algie Crumpler, Tony Gonzalez, Harry Douglas. This is for all of them. I'll even go down the line of offensive linemen. This is for Tyson Clabo. This is for Todd McClure. This is for Alec Mack. This is for Jake Matthews, who's still on the team right now. This is for Chris Blaylock. This is for Coy Wire. This is for all the Falcons that you know and you see throughout history. Because we're better than 28-3.